Good morning, everyone. I'm very excited to go to Languedoc. I got to visit there for the first time last year, and it's truly one of the most gorgeous places in France and fairly diverse. Delphine is going to be coming on here any minute, but in the meantime, I'm going to tell you that next Tuesday at 10 o'clock, I'm going to Chateau Bellevue in Morgon. On Wednesday the 17th, I'm talking with Tim Master about Chartreuse. And then I'm going to Mendoza on Thursday. So I have a lot coming up. My schedule's on my website, and I'll be posting it in stories. And it's changing quickly because it's spring and people are excited to get out. Comes Delphine, and she has a beautiful weather and location. Hello.
Hello.
Delphine, you have a beautiful clear sky behind you, a little wind, but it looks gorgeous today.
Yeah, it's a very nice condition today, so I'm really happy we organized that today because it's a clear blue sky, not much wind, so perfect.
I'm
Perfect
always
condition.
impressed with winemakers' ability to really know the weather, because here we watch the weather, we're like, yeah, it's sunny tomorrow, but you guys are like, well, Thursday at 2 it's gonna be cloudy, so we got to be careful.
Yeah, exactly. We're stuck on the weather forecast to organize the work, so
Exactly.
it's part of the job.
And I want to say hi to Raylene from Cognac One, who just joined, and thank her for setting this up. But Delphine, can we start by tell us who you are and what you do? But I also like to know how you got there. Some people were born into the wine business, some people were drawn there. And if you could just tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got there.
Okay, so I'm not actually from the south of France. I'm from the east, from a little area next to Beaujolais and Burgundy. And that's where I started to study viticulture, because I got a degree in viticulture from Burgundy area, from Dijon, Burgundy University. Yeah. And then I have also a degree from Bordeaux University as winemaker, enologist. Yeah. And actually, my grandfather was a wine merchant, so it's probably somehow a source of inspiration.
Okay. And Veronique Dose from Chateau Bellon-Ségur just says hi, speaking of Bordeaux. So you think you got the bug from your grandfather?
Yeah, somehow, yeah, it inspired me.
And I read that you interned or worked with Melo in Sancerre for a minute. How did that impact your style? Because he's like a legend.
Yeah, is a legend. I'm really happy because we studied together viticulture in Dijon, and we got very close friends. Still a friend after 30 years, and he actually offered me the chance to make my first vinification in Sancerre in, I think it was 92, almost 30 years ago. Yeah, and it was really amazing because I enjoyed it so much, and I knew that was the sort of job I really would like to do.
Yeah, and it's I have mixed feelings from Sancerre because so many people love Sancerre, and it's a really good wine, but it's just kind of become the de facto what people want to drink, and it's hard to get them out of that mindset and have them go somewhere else. But we all get our moment in the sun, and they're having it now, and there's some beautiful wines, especially him. Could you tell us just an overview because there's a lot of consumers, wine lovers, and then some wine pros on here too. Can you tell us about Minervois and particularly La Vinière? Explain that region to us.
Yeah, the region, Le Minervois, is in the south of France, in Languedoc area, and we are in the back country between Carcassonne and Montpellier, or if it's not a big city, Toulouse and Montpellier, or Toulouse, Marseille. Mm-hmm. So if you hang on, if I show you,
you can flip the camera if you want, also, if that's easier.
Yeah. If you look this way, it will be Montpellier and after Marseille.
Okay.
Okay, that's east. If I turn and you look this way, that would be Toulouse first and Bordeaux after that.
Okay.
And looking to the south, it will be the Pyrenees, of course, Perpignan, and further down Barcelona.
Okay. And you're not far from Carcassonne, is that right?
Yeah, no, Carcassonne would be, 20, 25 minutes away from here.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's quite close. Quite
Um,
close.
I went to Chateau Gourgazeau. Do you know them?
Yeah, it's just next door, probably,
Okay.
100 meter away from here.
I didn't meet Chantal on that trip, but her and I chat on Instagram. She's extraordinary. I had a great visit there. But on the way there, we passed the village of Miner with that little bridge, and that's the name of the region, right?
Yeah, that's the little village that gave the name to the area, to the wine area. Yeah.
And then La Livinière is a village also?
Yeah, it's a village, and actually you can see it from here. I show you. Yeah, you've got this little village at the back.
Uh-huh. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So it's quite close. Yeah. So the appellation La Livinière is quite a small appellation because it covers only 400 hectares, and we are only about 40 producers on this appellation, making about 1 million bottles in total.
Okay. And all of your wine is La Livinière, or you make some Minervois?
No, we produce both Minervois and Livinière. Yeah.
Okay. So as a appellation, can you tell us maybe just briefly what Minervois does to the grapes and the landscape, and then how La Livinière is a little bit separate or different?
Okay. Minervois is quite large compared to La Livinière because it covers about 8,000 hectares. And the main variety would be Syrah, Carignan, which is an old variety, a local variety from the south of France, Grenache, Mourvèdre, and other type of varieties such as Lieu d'Honneur, Pelu. That's for the reds. We can also produce Minervois rosé and white Minervois. When in La Livinière, it's only red. Same type of varieties, so Syrah, Mourvèdre, Carignan, and Grenache mainly. But the proportion of Syrah and of the main varieties, Syrah, Mourvèdre, Grenache, has to be above 60%.
Okay.
Okay.
And then go ahead.
Yeah, it's only 6 villages in the appellation. So La Livinière, Féline-Minervois, Siran, Cesseras, Azianais, and the little village of Azille.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you tell me what, I know Monsieur Cazes took a long time to find the property. What makes your property stand out, and why he chose it? Is it the altitude? Maybe talk a little bit about the altitude, but what makes you guys stand out in the region?
Indeed, Monsieur Cazes was looking for a estate in the south for a long time, and it's actually on this parcel that he decided to buy the property. What makes it special is it's still far away from the sea, so the sea would be 50 kilometers away from here. So it's not as warm as other regions. The chance we have is that you can see the mountains behind me. It's that what we call the Black Mountains, les Montagnes Noires. And the wind is coming from the west, that's la Tramontagne, and it goes along the mountains and refresh the atmosphere. So we have quite a difference of temperature between the night and the day. And that makes a big difference for our wine because we keep a lot of freshness in the wine and a lot of aromas.
And is that aided by the altitude also?
The vineyard will be between 100 meters high and 400 meters high. Yeah, it's not that high, but that's probably the highest in the Languedoc-Roussillon.
Oh, okay. And you mentioned the Tramontane. Is that, I know in real specific terms, that just means the wind over the mountain. But I have friends like in the Côte Catalane that have a Tramontane also. Is it the same wind or is it just your wind that's coming from the mountains?
No, it's the same wind. It's northwest wind. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
wow,
and
that's
it's
a
quite
huge
strong.
area. They say it makes you crazy down there. I was trying to find some historical thing about people who went crazy from the Tramontane, and the only thing I could find is like one person supposedly became a werewolf in like the 1700s because he went
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. So tell me what wines you make, what grapes you grow, and what wines you make.
So on the property, it's mainly Syrah. When Monsieur Cazes bought the property in 2002, um, it was actually two estates that he bought to create Domaine de l'Hostal. And on those property, we had vines and parcels in very bad condition. So he decided to renovate all that and basically pulled out 60% of the vineyard and replanted within 5 years. And it was mainly Syrah. Today I have 62% of Syrah on the property, and a bit of Carignan, Mourvèdre, and Grenache, and also a bit of white, Viognier, Roussanne, and Marsanne. So, but that's mainly Syrah. And what we produce here is a Minervois called Estibals and Cru la Livinière called Grand Vin. Exactly.
I want to tell Raylene, your FedEx guy's very good because he got it to me a day early, so I was able to taste this last night. It's
Yeah,
delicious.
good. Thank you. You've got the 2018.
I have the 18, yes.
Yeah.
And I have to thank Corvan too, so I was able to like
Yeah.
dole it out small bits and save it. So, so tell me again the wines you make again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, le Minervois, cuvée estivale that you just shown, and Cru la Livinière, the cuvée is called Grand Vin.
Okay.
Yeah, and a rosé in Vin Pays, and white Minervois.
White Minervois. What are the grapes in the white?
It's mainly Marsanne and Roussanne, and a bit of Viognier. It used to be Vin Pays, but the rules in Minervois Blanc changed, and we are able to include Viognier now.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
I wrote an article a while back about Languedoc Rosé, and that it's. I mean, everybody knows that everybody thinks of Provence, but I have to say, Languedoc has amazing beaches, has amazing rosé. It's a place to go, and you save a few bucks because just not yet you're as famous as Provence, but I think it's going to happen. People are going to discover it. It's fantastic. Would you start maybe with the rosé, and we'll go back and kind of talk about the flavors of each wine and maybe what they pair with, how you would drink that?
Yeah, our rosé is 50% of Syrah and 50% of Grenache. So we chose those grapes because the Grenache will give a pale color first, because it's very important. The color is very important in rosé, and a lot of roundness. And the Syrah will give a lot of expression, a fruity expression, and it's exactly what we would like to achieve in this wine. Something really expressive, intense, fruity, and round at the same time. So and pale, of course. So yeah, we work hard on this wine, and I think it's quite successful.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that. And that would go with, I mean, you guys have a lot of seafood, but you also have a lot of game. What's the cuisine around there like?
The cuisine, as long as it's with garlic, tomatoes, and a lot of herbs, rosemary, thyme, I think it's the type of cuisine we like. Lots of garlic.
I love that though. Can you, let's see, go back up to the next red. And I also have a question about how Syrah from you and your region is different from Syrah from the Rhone. How would we tell that in the glass if I were blind tasting it?
The Syrah from the Rhone is a very fresh Syrah with spicy expression. You know, I think that's where you can find this this peppery expression and the type of flavor I always look for is the La Violette. How you could say that in English?
Violet. Yep. Same
Violet?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really really fine and really fresh. When down here in the south of France, we've got thick Syrahs and lots of structure. This fruity expression with the black currant and yeah, spicy as well. And in our area, in our vineyard, I think I've got I think I've got the garrigue expression
Okay.
from all the surroundings. So
I can agree with that from tasting the wine.
yeah,
I think so too. Yeah. And that's lovely. How do
good.
you keep it from getting, sometimes in a warmer climate, grapes like that get kind of flabby and not interesting. How do you keep
Yes.
it fresh and vibrant?
I think it's a balance in the grapes, really. We work hard on the vineyard to have a very well balanced berries, grapes and berries, and obviously vines, um, to keep the acidity in the berries. So yeah, and we pick early in the morning, like 4 or 5 in the morning, to have fresh grapes coming in the winery. And the vinification is quite simple, but yeah, I think it's really the berries that makes the difference. And the moment we pick the berries, actually the grapes, is very important. We try not to pick them too overripe to avoid what you said, this sort of heavy Syrah, a bit too rich and sugary, and to keep acidity in the berries.
Now, I visited that region in February, and it got cool at night. It was still warm during the day. Do you have that all year round, or especially in the growing season, you get pretty cool at night?
Yeah, it's still pretty cool at the moment. When I arrived this morning, for example, it was only 5 degrees, so it was quite chilly.
Okay.
And yeah, and right now it's probably 16, 17 degrees.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that's what I just explained. We have this big difference between the night and the day, and it's very good for the vineyard and the grapes.
Gotcha. Would you mind flipping your camera, because there's some people on here that weren't at the beginning, and show La Livinière and just kind of show around. It's too pretty to not share with everybody.
So that's one parcel, and that's actually the parcel that we call the panorama, because we've got a splendid view from here. And if I turn the camera so this way, you can see the mountains, and that's what we call the Black Mountains, with the village of La Livinière right here in front of you. And all the vineyard around is Domaine de l'Ostal. So you can see this nice parcel over here. And I've got an almond tree.
Oh, almonds too.
Yeah, still with flowers. It was starting flowering a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And one village from the appellation at the back here, it's Asie.
Beautiful. Now, when do your olives bloom? Or because you have a lot of olive groves.
That's one thing special from this estate is that we have 25 hectares of olive tree. So the property in total is 150 hectares, and it's quite big property for the area. We've got 60 hectares in vineyard and 25 in olive trees, and that represents 4,000 trees.
That's a lot.
It keeps us busy.
Now, are you in charge of that? Did you have to learn how to maintain an olive grove?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was the first year I arrived. I went on a training course for a week to learn how to take care of the trees.
That's incredible. I am always impressed that when people broaden their expertise, that's Beautiful. I interrupted you before, but can you go back and describe the Minervois and the La Livinière wines, just to be a little more precise for people that haven't had them?
So the cuvée estivale, which is our Minervois, is a blend between Syrah, 60% of Syrah, 20 of Grenache, and 20 of Carignan. This cuvée is a basket of fruit. Really, that's what we try to do here, is to have a very pleasant wine, easy to drink, with a good concentration, but not too heavy, not too structured.
Yeah.
So you can find blackcurrant, strawberry, all type of fruit. It's really, really easy to drink.
Yeah.
And round tannins, which is important because we like to have something smooth in the mouth.
And as much as it's easy to drink now, you can lay it down for a couple years too, I think, right?
Yeah, sure. You can wait 4, 5, 6 years. 18 was a very good year. You can wait a bit for.
Yeah. And then your La Livinière?
So that's,
Delphine, I can't hardly hear you. I don't know if maybe if you need to be closer or if you're headphones.
Okay. So obviously it's the best parcel of the property, and it's a different terroir actually. Here it's more clay in the ground. When further up on the other side, it will be more marl and limestone, and that's where we grow the vines for Le Cru La Livinière, and that gives a different expression to the juice. It will be much more structured with a hint of spice and dark fruit, chocolatey character, and this garrigue expression that I'm looking for is really, really interesting in this blend. And it's mainly Syrah, with Carignan, Grenache, and a bit of Mourvèdre actually. And we aged that a year in barrel, but the barrels are not new. They're 2 years old, and they're coming from Médoc area, our chateau in Médoc.
Oh, cool. Okay. And
yeah.
I love Carignan. It's one of my favorite grapes. You would never produce a single Carignan, or by appellation law, right? You have to blend.
Yeah, you're not allowed to use it straight, and I've got a small amount of Carignan because they're all very, very old vines, like 60, 80 years old, and they produce not much, but it's very important in the blend because that adds a lot of freshness actually. Those type of varieties are really made to live under the sun and in warm climate, and they are very well balanced, and it's very important in our blends.
Since you're in the vines right now, what's the state of things? Are you done pruning?
Yeah, pruning is over. We finished pruning a month ago, and actually I was going in the vineyard today and waiting for this meeting. I had a look at my vines, and I can show you they start to grow.
Oh, excellent! But now you're past any chance of frost, right? I hope.
Not really. Frost will last until May probably. Okay. So we still have 2 months to be sure that we're in real safe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's everywhere though, right?
Yeah.
There was a bit on your, I think it's your website, or maybe also Cognac One website, where you guys describe your terroir as raw versus elegant and wild versus generous. And I 100% agree, having been there, but can you speak to that a little bit for people who might not have been there to the region?
Yeah, here it's as you said, it's a wide area. We are surrounded by the garrigue and pine forests, and it's not flat at all. I can tell you, it's It's really hilly, and yeah, and there is a lot of wildlife actually. This morning when I was in the vineyard, I had a look and I saw two deers,
Oh,
one fox, plenty of rabbits. So
wow. Okay.
it's inhabited really, and we've got, as you saw, almond trees and pine trees, different sort of biodiversity actually.
I love
So
to see that.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. Do the deer get the little buds that are coming out now? You have to watch that, or you have a fenced around there or something?
No,
No.
it's not a problem. White pig, as you say, les sangliers, boar.
Boar, wild boar, yeah.
Yeah, boar. Um, they they're a problem at the end of the season when grapes are ripe. They
Great.
can start to eat them. So, but it's not too difficult
Yeah.
for now. For
Yeah.
now.
I have become an aficionado of pâté de sanglier because it's a problem there sometimes. Let's see. So France now has a rule that everybody has to participate in HVE, which is in English high environmental value, and then each year you have to do something new, right? Can you talk a
Yeah,
little bit about that and about what you're doing?
yeah. We have to progress every year to protect the biodiversity in our vineyard and on our estate. So, for example, what we did this year is we planted grass in our vineyard. I can show you in this vine. You can see in this block. You can see all the plants that we planted this year,
Okay.
and it's like a natural way to plow the ground, and we chose different type of plants to aerate the soil actually, so that will add that will make the soil with a better structure and add some fertilizer naturally to the ground.
So
So
is it like a legume that is fixing minerals, or is it grass that's making the roots compete for water? What did you plant?
um, it's different type of cereals really.
Okay.
Yeah, some have roots that will go very deep down in the ground to aerate the soil,
Okay.
and others will cover the ground to avoid the bad seeds to grow,
Okay.
and other will add components to the soil. So it's a mixture of 5 or 6 cereals, different cereals, to make the job.
And then just, this is maybe not your job. I bet you know the answer though. That you have to do something every year. So I'm sure you have to be already planning the thing you're going to do next year and next year. Is there anything you can speak of, or is that really difficult to plan so far out? I mean, I know you do it with your
Um,
grapes.
I have a couple of ideas, and I'm working on saving water at the same time, yeah, because it's very important. We
Yeah.
don't have much water in our vineyard, so we have a company that help us to organize the water consumption on our vineyard.
Okay.
And it's very important because we don't want to waste a drop of water.
Yeah, really. That's awesome. We're almost at the half an hour mark, so I will let you go. I really appreciate your time. But just as a takeaway, what do you think the typical American wine consumer needs to know about Languedoc? I think is making its own name a little bit, but what do they need to know about Minervois?
I think that's really our surroundings, and the type of climate we have here is exceptional. The type of wine we have is at the image of our territory, really. As we mentioned, it's quite wild, it's really preserved, and with a lot of temper as well. So we try to put that all in the bottle and send that to you in the States.
Well, that's
That's fun as
exceptionally well
well.
said, and you do it very, very well. I can't say enough.
Good,
That's exactly what the wine delivers. And I was lucky enough
good.
again to go, and I can attest that you very well succeeded.
Sure, come whenever you want.
Oh, I'm coming back. Believe me, I'll have to look you up. Delphine, thank you so much for your time. This is really great. I'm happy to see some lovely weather over there. We're having a good day here too in New York. So
Yeah,
it's nice to see, and I'm glad you got your wind going. It's a good start for the season. Thank you.
exactly. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right,
Bye
take
bye.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye.